So this is a 2011 new Hadlow collection by Flexifoil. The last year or so we've been developing Hadlow by Flexifoil, and this is an idea and concept I came up with where we'd make an elite set of equipment, stuff that I want and use for the World Cup and competition, and now everything I use for my everyday kiting, practicing, and just generally pushing it and just going out there and having a good time. So trying to make a bunch of products for everybody to love, the way I see the sport progressing, just taking the high-end handle passes, wake style, and getting the right equipment to progress the sport, and hopefully everyone will be happy with it. So the main part of it is obviously the kite. We got it's the same sea kite. We had the Hadlow Pro in the last 2 years. That was just a pro model. Now it's become the Hadlow Kite by Flexifoil. Quite a similar sort of feel, design. We based it off the current years, every year just stepping it up to the next level, trying to make small improvements, even with the construction, feeling, and its performance. So basically this year we've had a lot of construction changes. We got a new construction for the leading edge to make it a lot more stronger. Blowing this kite up is going to be a real mission, and I still haven't got one to go yet after all the testing I've done on it. We've changed the middle section. Last year we've had 3 segments coming through here, and that made a little bit more kinking, a little bit more. Now we took 5 cells in the middle, and it's made a more continuous part. The middle of the kite for me is where all the power is generated. That's where you get the pop, and you want it to have the cleanest airflow over the middle. So that's originally why we split the struts. We have 6 struts, and the middle of the kite is kept clean, and then we smoothed off the leading edge to make a real continuous arc. That's where the power comes from, and that's what we want to keep good in the center of the kite. It's the most important part for me. With Flexifoil, it's always been about keeping a good quality kite as well, so we always wanted something that's going to last. So we've added these patches here all the way around. So when it's on the leading edge, just there, sat, that's where it spends a lot of the time, either on the grass. I have pebbles on my local beach, you know, sand, shells, anything. It's quite easy to catch a little nick in the leading edge, so try to make that super strong and try and prevent as much damage to the leading edge as you definitely wouldn't want that blowing up halfway through a kite loop. So that's the main thing, just keeping the quality in the kite. And you know, I've been working a lot on this and over the last few years, and every year's getting better and better. So now we come to a point where we're at a really high level, quality-wise, performance-wise, and you know, it's just about tweaking it, making each little bit a little bit better in its own respective way. We've also thickened the leading edge this year a little bit to help with the relaunch. There's been for sure was a very difficult kite to relaunch anyway, but we're trying to make it a little bit more accessible. Now that I'm not competing, you know, before it was very much specialized to getting the highest performance out of it possible, but sometimes there's some compromise needed. So we've got a little thicker leading edge, helped the relaunch, and already that has made a big difference combined with a few other things. We've added a new depower system. The new kite's got a little bit more depower in general over the whole kite. Like our mission for the year was to keep the performance, keep it one of the best kites for wake style tricks, freestyle riding, and the big kite loops and everything, but making it a little bit more accessible as well. So with a little bit more depower, it just gives you a little bit more wind range, brings all the kites a bit closer together, so you can go from a 7, 9, 11, 13, and it's a very smooth, continuous jump. So we've also added an extra depower system where there's just one little attachment point here, a bit further up the kite, and it's really simple. You just have an extra line and one extra pulley in the bag which comes with the kite. You literally lark's head it onto this new attachment point. Simple as that. Where the original attachment point for your front line is, you just have to put the pulley over on that. So you just put that through there, and then lark's head this to that other piece of rope you just put on, and then that brings the toe point a bit further forward and rocks the kite a little bit more for depower. So it's real simple, really easy, and you know, if you just want a little bit more depower, a little bit more range in the kite, it's a perfect option. Maybe if it's really gusty or very strong and you don't have another size kite, it just opens it up and it gives almost, I would say, almost 50% more D-power. It really makes a big difference. So also for wave riding and stuff like that, it kind of opens it up so you can have a sea kite with a bit more D-power. Bit of a different feel, but I still think it's quite direct. And it just works really well. Even unhooked wave riding, you can pull the kite in, depower it a lot, and still have good turning, even with the lines a little bit slack and with it depowered. So for unhooked riding, it's good. And obviously hooked in riding, wave riding, it's good as well, because you can just sheet that bar out and get rid of the power. So that's a new feature for this year, and hopefully will help a lot more people get into the C-shaped kite, and just make it a bit more accessible and more fun for more people. Design-wise and feel-wise, I think it's a little better for the wake style stuff. I've just started riding boots a lot more now. Needing the kite to feel a little bit more solid, you need a little bit more edge and need a little bit more power when you're riding. So to create that pop with boots, you don't want to just stall the kite out as you edge, have it go to the side of the window and lose all your pop. So we've designed the kite to be a bit more stable, a bit more solid, and still produce a lot of pop, and definitely achieved that this year. The feeling is quite direct, same like any other year. I think it's a little bit quicker, and it's also a little bit better for kite loops as it's a little quicker through the sky. We changed the profile a little bit just to add to that. When I'm doing big kite loops on my 7 in strong winds, we don't want anything going wrong, don't want the kite stalling out, and so we've designed it so this year I think even the 9 is working in strong winds for some big kite loops and mega loops. So that's the main thing as well, is just keeping the kite stable, fast through the sky, and the feel really nice and direct.